Salvete discipuli, this is help for your Latin studies in Henle First Year Latin, exercise number 151. In this exercise, we're given some sentences in Latin, asked to translate them, and also to point out the words to which the italicized pronouns refer and explain the agreement. So we will need to have our grammar book, the blue book, open to rule number 128. That shows us the non-reflexive third person personal pronouns in masculine, feminine, and neuter form. And you'll notice in our new vocabulary here on page 133, it tells us is, ea, id. Those are the third person singular personal pronouns for he, she, and it. That's just in the nominative singular. You'll see in here in your chart here in rule number 128, is, ea, id. But you also want to go ahead and memorize all of the declensions for each of those personal pronouns. There's lots of good videos that explain an easy way to memorize, like just noticing patterns, like the genitive singular is always eus, eus, eus. The dative is always ae, ae, ae. And otherwise, you'll notice that in the accusative and ablative and in many of the plural forms, those endings mimic what we're used to from our noun declension endings. And so all of those little tips should be helpful in memorizing your third person personal pronouns, according to rule number 128. With that in mind, we're going to encounter some of those third person personal pronouns in exercise number 151, and that's what we're asked to point out. You'll notice in number 1, Caesarem laudabas, and then the second sentence here, itaque is italicized. That's referring to that third person masculine singular in the nominative form. Is means he. So therefore, he tibi primum dabit. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and translate sentence number 1 here. Starting with first sentence, Caesarem laudabas. Let's look at our verb first. This ending, Caesarem, is not recognizable as a nominative ending to me. And so I'm looking at our verb first because I think that our subject is tucked in with that verb. It's going to be the pronoun that would have the S ending. Okay, so Caesarem laudabas. Laudabas is an imperfect. I get that from the BA tense indicator. And it's second person singular, which is what I pick up from that S ending, meaning you, singular, you were praising, right? In the imperfect tense, we're looking to the past with ongoing action. You were praising. Who or what? This is our direct object. And if I think about those noun declension endings, Caesar, Caesaris, that's a third declension noun. Various is, em is our accusative ending. And so it makes sense that this is our direct object. It's receiving the praise. So we start with you were praising Caesar, period. First sentence done. Woo! All right, so now we have itaque is tibi primum dabit. Okay, so some interesting new words here. We know that itaque means therefore, so we can just start with that. Therefore what? What is our subject here? Well, I have this word is, and it's new in my vocabulary. It's a third person personal pronoun. It's in the singular form, and it's nominative, so there it is. That's the subject, and it means he. Therefore, he. He what? Let's look at our verb, which is almost always at the end in a Latin sentence. Dabit. Dabit. Well, this da is a verb we know that means give. And the T ending means he, she, or it. That's our third person singular ending. And the BI, our tense indicator, is future. So therefore, he, she, or it will give. Well, we know it's he because it gave us that pronoun as the subject. So therefore, he will give, future. He will give who or what. We have Primium and TB left to work with, right? Well, Primium is what I'm narrowing in on because Primium, primii, it's a second declension neuter noun. And you'll remember that in neuter gender, the nominative and accusative endings always match. So when we think through those second declension neuter noun endings, eo, o, nominative and accusative match. That gives us our answer, but I just want to refresh. In the plural, it's the same way. A, orum, is, a, is. Nominative and accusative always match in the neuter gender. Okay, so we know that Primium works as a direct object and it means reward. So he will give a reward. I'm going to come around here. And then we have TB. Let me turn back a page in our grammar book to the pronouns of the first and second declension because I remember chanting this. Tu, tui, tibi, te, te. Well, here's tibi, and it's in the dative case, which means it's an indirect object. To you, right? He will give a reward to or for whom? To you. Tibi, to you. And that is the end of our problem number 1. So just take it problem by problem, number by number, sentence by sentence, word by word. Focus in on those third person personal pronouns that are italicized. Some of them are going to be in a form not is, ea, or id. They're going to be in a form that's on your chart here. So you'll want to have that open. And that will help you to translate your sentences and realize whether or not it's supposed to be the subject or the direct object or something else. I hope this has been helpful to you. Have a great day.